Hi, it's Sophie Nicolau here, host of the Highbury Squad, and chatting here on Lee Judge's TV about the Arsenal v Chelsea game. Firstly, thanks so much for the invitation, you guys, to speak my mind about a game that just continues to underline the Arsenal's problems. I thought I'd be ranting and raving in kind of supersonic Greek Cypriot ways tonight, but I actually feel somber and perhaps even a little bit defeated about what's happening at our club. There were supposedly protests that were going to go on today too, but it seemed like they fell flat. And I believe that's because a lot of fans feel disillusioned. And you could say, why do you feel that way when we've spent £130 million in the summer transfer window and have spent more than any other club in the Premier League and Europe, actually? You ask yourself, well, we're on the way to a new path. We have new players, some fresh blood. We're getting rid of all the dross. We got rid of the clique in January, and we're continuing to try and do the same this summer, nullifying Kolasinac's contract, to trying to get rid of Bellerin and moving players on that are almost impossible, like Willian, seem to be an uphill task. Now, a lot of this vitriol is landing at the feet of Arteta and Edu, and I'll get to them eventually, and that's right. But the regression of our club has been ongoing for years in the Premier League, and it happened under the reign of Wenger and Gazidis. And when you don't nurture something, when you don't water your plant, eventually it dies. And unfortunately for us, we kind of feel like we're going through, I don't even know if we've reached football rehab. We've been through the breakdown. We've been through the meltdown, and now we've hit absolute rock bottom. You could say the breakdown started under Wenger, the meltdown continued under Unai Emery, and the rock bottom has really hit us under Mikel Arteta. The question is, with Arsenal Football Club, who's in charge and who's willing to take those 12 steps if we are in football rehab to rebuild us? It seems like an impossible task, especially when you look at the money that we've spent this summer. But 10 years of, disengagement and mismanaging a business, buying the wrong players, giving insane contracts to people that actually don't deserve them, buying out those contracts, players leaving for absolutely nothing, the owners not getting any ROI, the owners being completely negligent in who they hire to run the business. It is an absolute mess. And the culture and DNA of Arsenal Football Club that we once knew and loved is completely in the toilet. Now, the problem is we used to accept it before. Why? Because as bad as things were under Wenger, we still managed to win FA Cups. And as bad as it was under Unai Emery, Mikel Arteta came in, riding his horse like a white knight, trying to save us, and won the FA Cup in his first season. If you look back on that a little bit, it might be that he actually won that FA Cup with Unai's team, took over in December, went on a run, and in the end won the FA Cup in May and made us the most winningest team ever in that competition. But I feel like those FA Cups have masked the pain. They've been band-aids. Because every single time we've won one, we've then been sold as fans that these teams can compete in the Premier League. Oh, we won an FA Cup. We'll go on and win the league. Oh, we won an FA Cup. This team is good enough to compete in the Premier League. Oh, we won another one. See, we told you we've got a good group of guys here who can go on and compete at the highest level. We've not been competitive in the Premier League for years. Unai Emery got us to Europa League final. He lost it. Arteta won his final, and that's why he's still in a job. There is some incompetence, guys. It's not just the players. When you look at how he's turned this team over, he does have some of his own players now. But what we're seeing on the pitch is completely different. This is why we used to accept mediocrity, because we were still playing decent football at times and scoring goals. We accepted leaking 4 goals if we won 5-4. We accepted leaking goals and losing 3-0. That became the Arsenal way. But what would happen? We managed to score goals, be offensive, be creative, play a little champagne football here and there that appeased us, because that was the Arsenal way. But now we've lost that. Now we're actually watching Bolton Wanderers type of football, Wimbledon FC type of football, boring, uninspiring and completely not innovative football from a manager who supposedly is the second coming. We're in a very, very scary situation. There is no doubt. I'm not sure that we're going to be able to get 3 points against Norwich, 3 points against Burnley. This is really tough. This is a bad situation to be in. And then you look at what happened today against Chelsea. We started off well in the first 15 minutes, did we? They just let us play that way. He doesn't play with 3 at the back, played with 4 at the back, completely exposed Tierney. Then Saka's exposed. Then everyone starts throwing darts at Xhaka. Was it really his fault? Not really. Pablo Mari, why is he playing him against Lukaku? Pablo Mari proved he couldn't even defend against Brentford, let alone put him up against Lukaku, who is without question one of the most exciting strikers in Europe now. He's leaner, he's fitter, he's meaner. And I kept seeing Didier Drogba throughout that game today. It felt like I was watching a throwback game of Drogba playing against Philip Senderos. And we all know how that story ended. We can't finish. We can't even create goals. How many shots on goal did we actually have? I believe there's a stat that says in 20 months, Arteta's lost as many games at the Emirates as Arsene Wenger did in 6 years. When we've been trailing at halftime, he has won 0 games to come back and fight. I believe that is maybe 16. 2 of those are draws, the rest are losses. These are unacceptable stats and data. He has broken every record for all of the wrong reasons. For the first time in 5 years, we are not in Europe. We were arguing among ourselves earlier this season, we can finish in the top 6. Oh man, I can see us finishing 8th. Finishing 8th right now looks like a blessing. We are setting players up to fail. Imagine being Sambi Lokonga today. It felt like he was Jon Stones in the Battle of the Bastards in Great Game of Thrones for a large portion of that match. Martinelli being played down the middle. No service whatsoever. We've been crying out for him to even get a shot in the team. And when he does, he's asked to play down the middle. Maybe Oba should be playing down the middle if he was on the bench. But then after the game, he says he wasn't well enough. Then why do you have him on the bench? So much misinformation, so much one thing and the other with Arteta. And now when he speaks, quite frankly, for me, I don't even believe what comes out of his mouth. Josh Kroenke was there today. Hope he enjoyed the game, because that's going to be the Arsenal that he's bought into. If I was him, I wouldn't give one more cent to Arteta and Adu. We cannot spend any more money, because who knows if this manager's going to be here beyond the North London derby. We could go into that match with just 2 or 3 points. And then what if we lose that? Will he get fired? You'd think that he should. But our club is completely devoid of making tough decisions like that. We played a Chelsea today that everyone says, their managerial revolving door. Roman Abramovich, ruthless, fires people. How many trophies have they won in the last year, let alone since Roman took over? Right now, I'll take that managerial revolving door. I'll take Abramovich's philosophy and how he runs a football club. Because right now, Arsenal Football Club is a shadow of its former self. And today's game was depressing. Even Saka and Tierney looked like they were out of sorts. And yes, it's only 2 games, but it's not, is it? This has been going on now for a long time. Arteta's going on 19 months in charge. He's had almost 4 windows to change this team and make it his own. Have you seen progression? Have you seen Arsenal Football Club move forward? Are players getting better? Our best striker, our captain, has also regressed. What's going on there? What is happening? I think there's 2 sides to every story, and then there's the truth, and maybe one day we'll find out. But for now, once again, we were humiliated by a team that used to be our rivals, because our rivals now are Leeds, Aston Villa, Wolves. Those are our rivals, and that's the reality of Arsenal Football Club. Rob Holding should have scored. Yes, it could have been 2-1, but what then? And then people say, well, what if Ben White was playing? What if Gabriel was playing? What if Partey was playing? Well, didn't we see Partey play last season? Lacazette, Aubameyang? And what did they do? At some point, you got to start asking questions. Even Lee Dixon and Graham Lasso today on television on NBC here in the United States said that this falls on Arteta today. He didn't change things up enough. He had plenty of time to do so. And all he could do was look from the sidelines helplessly instead of making decisions and actually managing a game. He's definitely a good coach, but is he a good manager? I don't think we're seeing that at all. And it's very sad. And that today was another depressing loss. So we move on to Manchester City. We've lost to a newly promoted team. We've lost to the champions of Europe. And now we're going to play the Premier League champions. We'll know even more after that match, but I think some of us have seen enough to know what they know.